everybody. Happy Monday. It's me. It's Michael B. So tonight, guys, we're going to have so much fun. This is a show I wanted to do for a very long time. Funny enough, I've been planning these, because I can't just come up with something every Monday. I've been planning them for a while, and I did a show a while back where I talked about how I wanted to improve the next driving cab. I talked about what would be the next driving cab and what improvements we needed to make to it from the first generation. And I always had in the back of my mind I was going to do a second video where I talked about the next shooter cab and what improvements I wanted to see. And it was actually scheduled for tonight. I did my last video and I said next week I got to do the shooter video. And then, of course, Arcade1Up was kind enough to leak accidentally the T2. So we get our next shooter cab. So not only can we have that conversation, is it super, super relevant right now, but we can also compare to what they have for their next cabinet. Also, for those of you when this came out on Friday, I have to be honest, I got a lot of credit for leaking this, and I made a YouTube video about it. But what happened was a friend of mine on Twitter, you can look him up, it's called Mystic Defender, reached out to me and gave me the Chapters Indigo leak. So I then Chapters Indigo link. So then I went into the link, realizing it was Chapters, and I said, oh my god, this is real. So then I made my video. Hey, Kongzaros, what's up? So full credit to Mystic Defender. Thank you so much for doing that. I then made my video and put it out. But right before we went live tonight, I got a lot of feedback from people saying, there's no way. Terminator 2 is definitely fake. I don't know about this website. I don't trust it. I'm going to put something here in the chat. You guys can go to it if you want. But right before we went live, I got a message in our Arcade1Up Canadian Facebook page, which also showed a second listing in Canada for the Terminator 2 Arcade1Up cabinet through the shopping channel. So guess what, guys? It's real. It's damn real. That's right. We are getting Terminator 2 Arcade1Up. So now that that's out of the way, let's get started for an awesome episode of Chill and Chat with Michael B. Yeah, the people that it's claiming it's fake, like, I did so much laughing. I saw everything coming up on the page, and people were like, oh, definitely don't do it. It's one of those $100 scam things. So anyways, people kept writing on my post saying, this is fake, and, yeah. It's not fake, guys. It's real. I just put the second post up there. I'm going to put it up again, just in case anybody missed it. You might want to write this one down. In case anybody missed the original post, you want to check it out. So it's in the chat again. This is the shopping channel listing for Arcade1Up Terminator. So a big thing to keep in mind, a lot of people are upset that this cabinet only has one game. We don't know that yet. In the original listing through Chapters Indigo, it listed game selection screen, and it seems pretty foolish that you would have a game selection screen listed as a feature to select one game. That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So obviously, there's going to be an additional game. Zohar, I hear what you're saying. Unfortunately, it's not fake. We're going to talk about that a little later on, because what we're talking about is improvements from the first generation Arcade1Up, and then towards the end, we got a place to talk about what we think about how the cab looks and how we think it's going to perform. Also, if you look at the link I just put up there, guys, for the shopping channel leak for the Arcade1Up Terminator 2 cab, it also lists December as the actual selling date. So, yeah, we might be getting this Terminator 2 cab before the end of the year, which I am just crazy about. You got to remember also, guys, that price is Canadian, so realistically for us here in Canada, I'm very excited about this because our big buck hunter is $7.99 Canadian. So really, we're only looking at a $50 price increase for that one, and that's not that bad. You guys, it's going to be a little bit more expensive US, unfortunately. Also, I apologize about my hair. I was trying to do something new with it tonight, and man, I look like a state. Ooh. It looks better than buck hunter. Yeah, let's get there. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for everybody tuning in. I also want to say thanks. Lewis Chambers is here tonight. Lewis reached out to me and offered to help moderate the chat. So thank you so much, Lewis. I really appreciate it, brother. I meant maybe people should start listening to me. I said that last time, Stringer Films. Yes, Stringer Films is the man. He knows. He's got the inside track with John D. I meant to mention that, Kong Zavros, in the shopping channel link, instead of game selection screen, there's a typo that says game delection screen. So you can choose a delectable game? How does it go? I don't know. Maybe Operation Wolf. Definitely. For the people hoping it's going to be Revolution X, I don't think it's going to be Revolution X. With Arcade1Up, it's easy to put multiple games on a cabinet. It's hard to put different licenses, so as much as we all want it to be Revolution X, where the music is your weapon, it probably isn't going to be. It's probably just going to be a random arcade game. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, Stringer Films. Ty Fisher, thank you so much for the super chat as well. The artwork is amazing. Guns are high quality. The game is amazing. 17-inch monitor is too small. The 17-inch is the reason I've returned Buck Hunter. We're going to get there as well. To me, the 17 inches really comes from how far you have to stand away from the TV. Like, I see everybody doing that Buck Hunter mod where they put, like, the 40-inch widescreen. Where's Mike's bangs? I know. I got a haircut recently, and I'm getting older, so my hair is getting a little gray. Thanks again for the other Super Chat Stringer Films. Where my hair is going gray, I've lost, like, I don't know, like the... I don't even know how... I can't even do it. I've lost the natural feel to it. It's gotten coarse now that it's starting to go gray, so it's getting kind of curly and coarse in the front. I don't like it. Anyways, going to the 17-inch screen thing. With Buck Hunter, you really had to stand about anywhere from 5 to 10 feet back to play Buck Hunter with the Sinden technology. And with the 17-inch screen, that was a little small, so people did the 40-inch TV mods. So they had an Arcade1Up cabinet with a 40-inch TV hanging out of it. And that's cool for the people that like that. But to me, I was like, at that point, I was like, why wouldn't you just, like, you know, buy one of those Buck Hunter plug and plays or get like a Wii version if you're going to be playing on a TV anyways. It didn't feel like it was even an arcade cabinet anymore. Like, I've seen new Buck Hunter cabinets and that's the way they are, but just, I don't know. And no offense to anybody who did that and liked it, cool. I'm glad you like it, but to me it seemed like a strange modification, not something I would be willing to do. Mrs. Kanzara says bigger is better. That is right. I know gray is more distinguished, but it's not as cool looking. My hair used to be cool looking. Now I look... I don't know. Geekworm doesn't work with Big Buck Hunter. Oh, really? I did not know that. Leaks listing are all over the place. Yeah, the leaks are coming out of anywhere. I don't even know, man. My impression is that these are going out. What is haircut? I know. Cool Toy did do it. I know. Cool Toy did it. And listen, no offense to anybody doing it. Oh, thank you, Zohar. I appreciate that, brother. No offense to anybody doing it, but like that wasn't my jam. I would have preferred they just had a bigger monitor in there. So, anyways, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never owned a big Buck Hunter. My playtime with the cabinet has been minimal. So I can't go into the great level of detail as somebody else who's had one and reviewed it. What I can say is I can certainly see the appeal of the cabinet. It's fun. It's fun to play. But looking at it and playing it at friend's house and also... Hey, Merrick, what's happening, brother? Looking at it and playing it in friends' houses, there were certain things that really stuck out to me. I'm not going to comment on the quality of the guns. Some people said they didn't feel as expensive as they should. But what I did notice was the cabinet seemed really short. Like, it's on the normal riser. Yeah, Dora the Explorer 2, my new vehicle. Thank you, Don. So mine was 27 and big enough for me. Still fits next to my other 1-ups. Yeah, see, if you're doing a mod like that. The other thing, too, I didn't like the widescreen mod. It would have been better if you could do, like, a bigger square screen for original Buck Hunter. So, Anyways, going back to the original cabinet, Buck Hunter, it seems small. So there were a couple things I really didn't like about it. When you stand up next to it, it's the same height as the other Arcade1Ups, but the cabinet actually seems a little bit smaller, and that big wooden marquee comes up about the same height. Control panel is higher, though. Where? Control panel is higher where? Cryotech. I'll have to come back to that, or you can explain. So, there was something, it just looked strange. It looked like it should have been a little taller. So, a lot of people have mentioned it would be nice if they came out with a 15-inch riser. So, that's an option. Then, on top of that, you really had to stand far back from the screen to play. So you were going, hey, Phil's Notebook, you were going back a little bit, and at that point the 17-inch screen was a little tough to play on. So I just wanted to talk about some general improvements that they could do from that cabinet, and we were going to talk about what the next shooter was going to look like, but we already know. We already know, thanks to the leaks and Terminator 2. So here's some improvements we knew they were going to be there. First off, light up marquee. It drove me nuts that I was going to be going backwards and buying a cabinet that didn't have a light up marquee. If there's one thing that absolutely killed my FOMO for the Buck Hunter cab, it was the fact that marquee wasn't light up. Now, Unqualified Critics did video on this, and I don't know how true this is, but he mentioned that possibly one of the reasons why there wasn't a light up marquee is it may affect the shooting from the light guns, the Sinden light guns. So maybe that's the reason they left it off. And maybe it's they weren't in the same form factor, so Arcade1Up didn't really know how to light it up, how to make their standard light up marquee with the new marquee, and just decided for cost-cutting measures to leave it out. For whatever reason, they decided not to light up that marquee. And I look at my arcade now, I have 16 Arcade1Up cabinets or 15 Arcade1Up cabinets, 3 pinballs. I think that's what I have in my arcade now. I should know. P-Dubs, what's happening, my brother? Hey, third floor with Jason, right there too. What's going on? So, it didn't have a light up marquee. That drove me nuts. Thankfully, they got the message, and Terminator 2 is listed as having a light up marquee. How is that going to impact the Sinden light guns? If there are Sinden light guns on the cabinet, I'm not sure. I think one of the big reasons that they're probably saying a lit marquee won't be as big here is if they are using Sinden light guns, you can take a look that the cords coming out are a little bit shorter. So it looks like the technology they're using here might require you to be closer to the screen, and maybe where you're dipped down, maybe you'll be under the lit marquee so it won't impact as much. Just speculating there, assuming, which is the worst thing you do, but I will say that. Anyways, there is a lit marquee, so that could mean maybe these isn't Sinden light gun technology. I'm not sure. Yes, smiling about life, P-Dubs. I agree. Good day to be alive. So, number 2, force feedback in the guns. I don't know. I've never played Buck Hunter in the arcade, but you want something substantial when you're playing a gun game. That's always been a big part. You feel the action. You feel that gun firing feeling. And there was nothing with Buck Hunter. I mean, like, you click the gun and you go. But there was nothing, no kind of force feedback. And one of the biggest things about Terminator, if you remember, was the feeling of the gun. It actually felt like you were firing an Uzi. Like, there was a substance to it that it was almost like that, I don't know what you call it, like extra dimension or extra sensory perception, and you felt the gun firing and it made you feel good. So I love the fact that they actually went ahead and they have force feedback on these guns. We don't know what it is. More than likely it's just a solenoid in the gun, but you know what, they've got, yes, Dominic Smith makes a really good point here. Okay, I'm good. Okay, good. I'm ready to go off. So one pinball solenoid should do the trick, and that's the cool thing. It's not like this would create a huge cost or add something in there, but what it will do is, in fact, they've already got the parts from their pinball, Fourth Dimension. You can feel it. Thank you, Kanzaros. What they do is they've already got the parts there, so it's not a huge expense because they probably bought these parts in bulk. So now they just have the parts in their factory, and it's easier to add them to their equipment. So now they can put one pinball solenoid in the gun and have that force feedback. Yes, I know the solenoids will burn out in a few years. Digipunk, I get that. Maybe we can replace the solenoids. Maybe an Arcade1Up is not a 40-year purchase. Maybe it is only a 5-year purchase. I don't know. So that's that. I like two of those things. That's what we know we are getting in the next gun game. The other improvement that I really like is... thank you so much, Knowing His Power. The other thing I didn't like about Big Buck Hunter, it was a mono cabinet. And I'm assuming, because of the shape on this, that this is stereo sound. I actually have an ad up right here. I still have my Indigo ad up there as well. So, see if I can see it under specifications. It doesn't say stereo speakers, but I'm assuming that it's going to have stereo speakers, guys. I'm going to make that assumption there now. Stereo speakers, 100%. That's going to happen. Do you think the price will be high on T2? I think you guys are looking at... I don't know. We're looking at $849, like I said, which is... Yeah, Big Buck Hunter has mono. We're going to get stereo sound. So the price point... I think we're looking at $849, which is $50 more than what we're paying for Big Buck Hunter right now in Canada, so not a huge upgrade. Kanzara says, I have a sneaky suspicion they may cheap out to try to use something that vibrates instead to pass off as force feedback. It's possible. What are you thinking, like an exciter? Thundersticks. We talked about that. Michael, for that price, we can build our own cabinet. $849 Canadian, brother. Yes, I don't think you can build your own Terminator 2 cabinet, Zero Hero. I could be wrong, but a dedicated Terminator 2 cabinet with graphics, almost $1,000 Canadian after tax. Same as the pinballs, so yeah, just about there. Yeah, we're up to $849. So it's like $970 or something like that. So yeah, I think you guys might be looking at $699 for Terminator 2 in the States. I won't know until they actually put the ad out, guys. So far we have 2 ads out here in Canada. I'm going to put it in the chat once again in case there's new people in that missed it. We had a second leak for Terminator 2 here in Canada through the shopping channel. So my wife loves the Thunderstick. Whose doesn't? Soda or solenoid? We don't know. We don't know anything about this, guys. There's been so much speculation. All we have are the 2 ads that went up. They've also both been very similar. So it's confirmed. This is really happening. But, I mean, we don't know much more than that. So going on what we hope it has a 17-inch screen. I mean, we could all hope that it has a bigger screen, but we're told right here it has a 17-inch screen, so that is what it is. The only question is how far you have to stand away from the screen, depending on the technology they're using. A lot of people are assuming that they're using Sinden Tech. B. Kong mentioned in his chat that we had that Friday night that Sinden Tech won't do very well with the tracking software. And, Scarlet Sprites did a very good video explaining, like, the difference between what this looks like and what the real arcade is. This isn't out yet. We don't know for sure, and we're not going to know anything until Arcade1Up officially announces this. We're speculating based on the pictures, but it looks like some kind of light gun tech. So I'm interested to see how it plays. Maybe it'll play more, because the original arcade had a stick that was more like a yoke, right? And that's how it worked. B-Kong did a much better job of explaining this than me. So if they go with a light gun experience, it's going to be more like what you played at home on the Sega Genesis using the Menacer or Super Nintendo using the Super Scope. So it'll be more like that. So If they go with some kind of light gun game, that's the way it is. Also, if you look at it, when it shows on screen, it doesn't show the white bars all the way around. Not until I leak that sizzle reel. Lewis, if you got a sizzle reel, man, you need to drop that because we need to figure out what's going on. Yeah, I don't think it does come with a stool. The screen in the photo is about 19 or 20. Shinobi Showdown, yeah, but here's the thing. They have released so many pictures of cabs that look to definitely have, like, I was fooled. I said the Simpsons cabinet had a 19-inch screen. It looks like so many of those cabinets that they showed had 19-inch screens, and it just didn't come to fruition. But I've got a couple ads out here, and 17-inch color LCD specifically says in the ad. So it is a 17-inch screen. I still have the Indigo one up on my computer. So as everybody's saying, oh, I can't get into the Indigo one again. You don't lose it if you never close it. I'll use my grandmother's pager to save 10 cents. Attorney Arcade, I had to steal my credit card back from my wife. I'm buying Tron. I am so happy for all the Tron fans too, because so many of you guys were like, oh my god, we're never getting Tron, we're never getting Tron. There it is. Digipunk Dragon's Lair is MIA too. I wouldn't be too concerned about Dragon's Lair. That's not a retail cabinet. That's going to be from the site directly. So I don't expect any store leaks on that. Maybe here in Canada. The Brick usually has the website exclusive Arcade1Up cabinets here in Canada. T2 vinyl full arcade decals are for sale on eBay. The game is on a Pi 4 too. Yep, absolutely. And then you just need to buy your gun that you're going to work with, or however you decide you're going to play it. You can also play it, like I did the other night, Saturday night, using a trackball on the At Games Legends Ultimate, but it's not the same experience, right? Tron is locked in for me. Yeah, I really like Tron too. I want Tron for the wrong reason though. I want Tron for the artwork and cabinet in my arcade. I'll probably never play it. Like I don't really like the game. I just really like the cabinet and the movie. So I would have it for all the wrong reasons. Well, Simpsons, just had to get it out there. Thanks, Jamie. So the screen is 17 inches. We're not getting a bigger screen. It all depends on where we have to stand. The only way I'm buying T2 is if it comes with 2 tin signs. That is good value. So it's not going to have a bigger screen. What we do hope is that it's a taller cabinet. So we're all hoping that this cabinet is going to be a little bit taller than what Big Buck Hunter is. Again, anybody who has Big Buck Hunter and likes it, it's fun. Is there some things I do differently? That's what we're discussing here tonight. And I would really like to see the cabinet be taller overall, because Big Buck Hunter was just a little too short. So what a lot of people suggested for Big Buck Hunter, and Unqualified Critic said this too in his video, and a lot of people say this, was the riser should have been the same size as the Star Wars riser. So they should have went with a 15-inch riser. I'll go a step further than that. Should have a 15-inch riser, but now that Street Fighter Big Blue is coming out with the riser that goes inside the riser and then lifts the cabinet up again like a cabinet extender, that would be something they should consider. And let me just bring this up here, but I'm going to bring up the ad. If you look at this, and someone mentioned this earlier, but if you actually look specifically at this, it does look like this front section here is taller for some reason. Maybe it's only the render, because we've seen this before where the screen looks like it's 19 inches. But if you take a look at this front here, the front does look like it's taller than your standard Arcade1Up. Now, one of the reasons it probably looks that way, it doesn't look like it looks like this is all straight here, and that might just be the render. And we don't have the, the J panel that goes down here into the front kick plate. Maybe that's why it's an optical illusion, but it would be nice if we had a 15-inch riser. That's definitely the standard 12-inch riser, and if not a 15, but a 15 would be nice. And then if we had another extender on there, so it's a little bit taller. Thank you so much for saying that, P-Dubs Arcade Loft. I really appreciate that. I feel John D is here with us. John D is here with all of us inside our hearts. The only drawback with that is if they do a taller riser and taller cabinet, you're going to have a taller arcade that might not look the same height as your other arcades. Some people will be nuts about this if you have OCD like me. I thought I would be like that with Star Wars. I'm not at all. Fits right in. I don't think it being like somewhere about 5 to 10 inches taller than another arcade would be a big deal, and I think it would make the gameplay greatly improved. That was the biggest complaint I heard about Big Buck Hunter. It was just too small, and well, the other one was the screen size. Hello, Lara B. Well, you gotta come in and say hello now since you stuck your head in.
No.
You're just gonna ghost outside the door?
I live here.
Yes, but if you come in, people can see you. They would like to say hello to you.
I prefer people to see me.
They all want to know how you feel about my excitement for the Terminator 2 Arcade1Up. Don't swear. Oh, she gave me the finger. Things are going well.
Can they see that?
No, they can't see that. See, if you came in... No, still can't see it.
Oh, I'm not coming in there.
You gotta come in that far. Still can't see you.
It's not worth it.
And you did swear anyways. There goes my family show. Are you coming in or not? I'm not sure if she's coming in. Everybody wants to say hello to you. Hey, here she comes. Hey, did I ever tell you guys, we actually foster kittens. Are you going to bring them on screen? Look. Oh, look. What's this one's name?
I don't know. They don't have names.
Major Blood.
I really don't want to be on screen.
Tomax and Zamot. Aww. Tell everybody your thoughts now. Come here close to the mic and tell everybody your thoughts on me getting T2.
You don't need that.
Alright. Thanks, buddy. See ya.
And you're a big nerd.
I'm a big nerd. Well, that's a new one. Well, that's good. It makes me feel good inside.
And you waste lots of money.
Yes, someone actually just mentioned that. You need to tell her you plan on spending $900 on Terminator. $849. Anyways, guys, yeah, so that's the only thing that we can see. If you do have a taller cabinet and taller riser, the cabinet might be. She gave you the Michael B's #1 finger. Is that the finger she gave me? I did consider Battle Cat. Of course, I told her. Zero here. I don't keep that away. The render looks like the screen is only 1 inch away from the barrel. The original had the screen pushed back in the cabinet. Thanks for the super chat, Hobby Hands. Now, that's where we're going to get into the next section. That's where we're getting into the next section where we talk about concerns we do have with this cabinet. So let me bring up the images again here. So here we go. So if you take a look at the cabinet, everybody's saying, oh my god, those guns are right against the screen. The screen needs to be further back. But let me bring up the second image, and you can kind of see here, these guns are into the cabinet the same way that the original was, but it doesn't look like these guns are attached and rotatable. Like, as you can see, the handles are actually down into the slots, and it looks like these are actually just holders, and the guns come out and are extendable with those cables. So these are not attached. Your guns aren't actually as close to the screen based on the render. So right now it looks like the guns are detachable. Obviously that's not the way the original Terminator 2 played. This plays more like a light gun game instead of the way that the Terminator arcade game came. And I mean, I don't know the exact reason for doing that. I'm assuming it's because they have a technology designed, and that's what they're going with. And I also want to mention, obviously this is just a render, but you can see right here, these white corners here, and B-Kong mentioned this, that seems more like the Gun i4 tech, because they only need sensors in the corners in order to operate, and they'd be able to have the sensor, like the crosshair on screen, be a little bit more accurate. So, again, Total speculation there. None of that is founded with any proof, and this could actually just be part of the bezel. Who knows? I don't know what it's going to be yet. We're not going to know, no matter how many leaks come out and how many entries come out, until we get something officially from Arcade1Up. Until we get the sizzle video, or we see some video of somebody playing this, we won't know how this game plays. We're only speculating. These might be fixed guns yet. And, you know, they seem really close to the screen, but if you look at the original arcade one, they would need to be taller and maybe a little further back, or the screen being a little further back, you're right. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the guns and how it plays. Scarlet Sprites did a very good video where he talked about this, where, you know, he has an original Terminator 2, and he's got the PCB, he's got a cabinet he needs to restore, so, I mean, that's how he wants to play it, and people have looked at this one and said, well, you know, this is better than Arcade Perfect because we can do something different we couldn't do with the original game. Let's be clear, there is nothing better than Arcade Perfect. Arcade Perfect, like Scarlet Sprite said, is Arcade Perfect. This would just be different. And it's the limitation with these cabinets. These cabinets are recreations of the original, but to an extent. I mean, there's always limitations put in because a little bit with their multicades. Like, not necessarily. They're based on one game. They have the art. Usually the controls and everything are based on that game, but there's probably going to be a second game on this. And the second game might not be Operation Wolf. It might be more of a standard light gun game. So in that case, it would need the guns to detach. So we don't know. Again, more speculation. Nikki Z says, I bet not fix guns. Screen will be exactly where it is on an MK. I think that if you look at the big Buck Hunter screen, it's a very 90-degree screen. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very straight screen. Not fix guns. Guns need to be black. Red and blue is cheesy. Evan, I don't have the picture here, but I did see a picture shortly after the Arcade1Up Terminator 2 leaked of somebody that had like a light gun multicade in their house that had had Terminator 2 branding on it, and the two guns he used were the exact same colors. So it seems like this isn't necessarily just a recreation of the original. It also seems like it's original recreation of his light gun cabinet. I like the gun colors. Yeah, see, the problem with guns, and you know, as soon as I saw this, the first thing I thought about, yes, P-Dubs is live in 30 minutes. Do him a solid and head over. Not yet. Wait till I'm done first. So there's a big thing. Do you want to know why we can never buy a original Megatron anymore? Because he's a gun. There was a huge thing back in the early 90s where people were robbing stores with toy guns, and they made this big announcement that no guns coming out, toy guns from now on, would ever be, they would make them all colors, like try not to get sued. Yeah, legal reasons. Exactly. All toy guns now are orange and blue. That's why there's a Galvatron instead of a Megatron. Couldn't be a gun anymore. More than likely, the reason these are colored guns, because how long would it take for a bad news story to come out that somebody cut one of these guns off and then went and robbed a store with it, right? This is going to be better than the Genesis and SNES version. Yeah, 100%. This is going to be the arcade version. It's just, I think it'll play a little bit differently, because if it does have a light gun, it's not going to be the exact same control as the original arcade. Nate, head over for a fair and honest opinion on Arcade1Up. Yeah. Rainbow guns. Yeah, so guns, are they Sinden or are they originals? I don't know. Colors match player sides. Yep, Brad O'Connell said a good point as well. If they were fixed, they might have been able to make them black. I'm not sure. This is definitely, the way it looks, not going to be arcade perfect. Oh, I don't know what P-Dub's show is going to be. I haven't talked to him about it at all. I haven't talked to P-Dubs much in the last couple of days. Gun looked like a real revolver. Yeah, I don't know what the gun quality is going to be like, too. Like, people have said they're not in love with the big buck hunter guns. I played with them. They seem fine to me. I didn't really have a problem. So the leak with House of the Dead 1 and 2 and Virtual Cop 1 and 2 fake, then that cabinet looked like a repurposed buck hunter cab. So I know that there's a guy on that's a fan of like the 1UP Weekly by the name of LJ Katz. He did a couple like fake leaked cabinets that he put out there, and he shared them with like Justin and stuff ahead of time. So hey, thank you so much, Ty Fisher. I appreciate that, man. That's really cool that we got all those people watching. So LJ Katz did a couple like fake cabs and threw them out there. There's constantly people doing this stuff. I again am going to share the link in the chat just so you can see. P-Dub show tonight, nothing but P-Dub's nudity. Just so you can see, this is a second posting now for the Terminator 2 cab in Canada. This is through the shoppingchannel.ca. Another completely legitimate site, not a fake one. This is not a fake leak. This is the real deal. It's happening. One of my favorite Twizzler flavors, just the regular red vines. Or red Twizzler, that's what I like. I didn't even talk about that, Champy. One of the biggest improvements that is not a physical improvement with the Arcade1Up Terminator 2 shooter cabinet is the fact that this is going to have live leaderboards. I also didn't check. I really hope that I've got the right... Okay, my Yeti microphone is in. Ooh! I was concerned there for a minute. Hey, 200 now. We hit the 200 mark. Surprised another one went up. Not only did it go up, Jim Harper, but if you go to the leak, it also says there's a release date of December 3rd. So I want to say again, thank you so much to Mystic Defender for sending me the original link to the Chapters Indigo post, and then sending me the link. Alexander Brochu sending me the link in the Canadian fan page tonight for the TSC.ca link. So, I mean, it's leaky. December looks like we're getting Terminator. So another shooter cab just in time for Christmas. We'll see. Because the pinballs were all supposed to be here before Christmas too, and that never happened. So we'll see. B-Dub says Arcade1Up needed some positive vibes. I agree. I think they could have got a lot of positive vibes differently. Would have been cool if they just came out and did like a show and had some familiar faces come out and talk to the community. Didn't even need to be necessarily on like a live show. They could have released their own video on their own website with just John D and David talking about the lineup coming out. Just a very personal video that wouldn't be overproduced, and I think a lot of us would have been happy about that. And also, man, like I said this 100 times too, with the price increases, like if John came out and did a video tomorrow, did one of his live streams and just said, guys, I'm sorry, I got to raise the prices because it's hard on the industry, we'd be like, oh, it's okay, John, we understand, man, like we get it, you're a businessman trying to survive. He just understands how to talk to his community, and it would be so cool. Alex Bouchard, I gotta make sure I got your name right, Alex. I'm horrible remembering names. Yeah, and again, yes, Lewis, it would be so nice to see Scott. Like, if you listen to Scott is one of the most natural salespeople of all time. Scott is like Peter Venkman's dad in Ghostbusters. He could, sell pretty much anything, and like to have him not talking is an injustice to that company. Communicate. I would have loved to have seen him communicate, but in the absence of communicating, this is a huge boost because, I mean, a lot of the cabinets that were announced, like I'm excited for X-Men, I'm excited for Simpsons, and then Simpsons got messed up a little bit, but the other stuff coming out, I wasn't as interested in. Nothing against Arcade1Up, it's just I have these cabs, and I don't really want to pay more for this these new cabs coming out. This is more for new people that probably missed out on those. But Terminator 2 is such a good surprise, such a huge surprise. They managed to keep that under the radar until the last minute, and it's a cabinet we all hoped and then didn't expect we would get. I made a video just a little while ago where I talked about cabs that had to happen, and I didn't think it would. I just didn't know. I thought the way Justin was talking and knowing Justin and Ralph's relationship with Arcade1Up back then, they talked so much about Time Crisis. I said, oh, okay, well, Time Crisis is the next cab. But lo and behold, it's Terminator 2, and I'm pretty pumped about it. Like, I do want to ask you guys, is there anything I forgot to mention? So, improvements from Big Buck Hunter to Terminator 2. Is there anything with this cabinet you've noticed that you think they improved upon that I didn't mention? Or is there anything else you guys would like to see them improve upon? Jung is awesome. Absolutely. Well, Retro Couple, like, that's the thing. Like, with these games, I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody that you have to buy an Arcade1Up. Only buy it if you want. There's other ways to play. You can play on a computer through MAME. You can build your own cabinet. You can buy a multicade like the Legends Ultimate and download the use file and play it that way. There's lots of ways to play these games. Now, AtGames Legends Ultimate are also coming out with 4-player decks, so it's an even better way. The only reason why you should buy X-Men is if you have a big attachment to the game. It's one of your arcade favorites. You're never going to buy an actual X-Men arcade cabinet, and this is the closest you'll ever come. That's a good reason to get it. If you want to see that artwork and you're passionate about that game and you want to dream about having one of those cabinets. Otherwise, a million different ways to play it. Do what makes you happy. I hope that Unico new LCD screen is going to be a game changer, man. Because, like, honestly, I do got to watch Killer Arcade Games video on the leak. Yeah, I got to go back and check that out too, Lewis. Big Buck has newer animation than T2. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Big Buck Hunter, I know, used one of their more... I don't know if it used one of their more powerful chipsets, but I know they had that Mega Fan on it, the same one they had for Outrun, so I'm guessing this is a less taxing game than what Buck Hunter was. Oh, Steve V. I feel so bad for Steve V. Steve Victoria, who's my friend from the Canadian group, he just purchased Big Buck Hunter cabinet, even though it wasn't the biggest one that he wanted. He wanted a shooter cabinet, and he was concerned the next one coming out would be super expensive. So he pulled the trigger on Big Buck Hunter, just got it the day before Terminator 2 leaked. And not only did Terminator 2 leaked, but it's not that much more expensive than what you're going to pay for Big Buck Hunter. I mean, it was only a $50 price increase. So, yeah. I assume Class 81 will be $4.99 US. Depends on if it comes with a stool. If it comes with a stool, you're looking at $5.99 US. DG, absolutely 0%. The games are mounted. I'm not sure. Now give me Daytona. Yeah, and I have heard a rumor. This is out there. There is another driving cab coming too. So, wait and see, guys. I've heard a rumor there's another driving cab coming. I like, it's the thinnest of rumors, but I have heard there's another driving cab coming too. DG, I mean the guns. Yeah, again, there's going to be people that want that. Like, this is not going to work for them because this might not have mounted guns. Terminator 2, the Arcade1Up cabinet, it doesn't look like it has mounted guns when the game itself plays with a mounted gun. So this might not be your cup of tea either. Can you talk about the Class 81 with Wi-Fi? Yes, Steve, I mean, you do you. Like, you know, I haven't ordered any Arcade1Ups yet. I've looked at the X-Men listing a bunch of times, and I'm still thinking about it. Hollywood Polo, I will, if there's time left, I will definitely talk about Nikki winning that woman's title. Good for her. Okay, I'll talk about it really quickly now. Good for her. She's doing something that a lot of other people aren't willing to do. She's killing long-term success for a short-term storyline, doing this superhero gimmick. And also on top of that, if anybody else hasn't noticed, she's lost like half of her body weight. Like, Nikki was a thick girl. She's managed to get herself in insane shape the last little while. So I think she's being rewarded for both. She's a good person. Everybody loves her in the back, so good for her, man. I'm glad that she's finally the women's champion. I think old Nikki from Sanity could have done it, but whatever way it happened, I'm glad she's being rewarded now. So that's a little hard, man. Yeah, the Jaster brings up a really good point, too. I mean, the gun has to be so far away from the screen, and maybe with Arcade1Up, you can't do that. Okay, I can do that with a lot of stuff, is going through the same process as you. Can I have a few days? Yeah, Billy, you can have as many days as you want, brother. I don't know if that was meant for this or not, but you take all the time you need, my man. X-Men, Data East Avengers. Yeah, multiple... are you talking about with X-Men, the Data East Avengers game, Captain America and the Avengers? Yeah. We need plug-and-play bass speaker for these. Maybe. I really hope the speaker, it's a stereo speaker improvement on this one compared to the mono speaker in Buck Hunter. That was another thing that it felt like Buck Hunter was a cab a generation back, even though we were getting new shooting technology, no lip marquee, mono speaker. It just felt like, is this a Wave 1 cabinet? Like, to me, it was a step back, even though it was a step ahead. So I'm glad it looks like they're going in a different direction. Oh, the other concern I had about this cabinet, I want to bring this up as well. Let me just bring, not this one, but this one up as well. The other concern I had about this cabinet, if you take a look at it, this has a very similar design to the legacy cabinets. And I mean, with a shooter game, you're probably going to be standing up. So I'm hoping the line of sight issue isn't as big a deal. Now, if this is like a light gun game, you're going to have to take a couple steps back. So you won't be directly over the screen, so it won't be as much of an issue. But I do hope where this marquee comes out a lot like the other, Arcade1Up Legacy Edition cabinets, Mortal Kombat, and also Street Fighter, Capcom, and Midway. I hope there's no line of sight issue with this one while standing up. That's another thing that can be improved by a higher riser and a taller cabinet, but I hope they take the time for somebody to stand in front of this and try it out. That's over 5'4", just to make sure that there is no line of sight issue. That's the other one I wanted to mention as well. Yeah, guys, like, this, if you're not happy with Arcade1Up, cool. But, like, we're having fun here talking about this. We don't need to just bash Arcade1Up. I did want to show you guys another thing. I was going through the office, and don't worry, Zohar, no problem. So, if you take a look at this, I was going through looking for something to write in, and I pulled out this old Hilroy. Canadian people will know this. Hilroy, just a regular notebook that you would buy for school. And when I opened it up, I actually found in it that this is how I used to do my videos. Oh, let's see if I can do this. This is how I used to do my videos and my scripting. And this is the textbook or the notebook I used when I did up my top 10 Super Nintendo games video almost, 8 years ago now. So this is the script from my top 10 Super Nintendo games video. Weird, huh? Anyways, that's what I used to write my notes in tonight. That's a piece of history right there. Yeah, and like, I've even got to the point where I'm using a stool now to play, fighters. Like, if I'm going to play Mortal Kombat on my Midway Legacy, or if I'm going to play Street Fighter on my Capcom Legacy, I broke down to using a stool because I don't want to do the splits anymore while watching those. Corey MCC, I'm 5'3", so I'm good. For my produced videos, yes, I do use scripts. So like if I do a review like on my ALP, obviously I script everything for that. So my on-screen stuff, my voiceover, like this is not scripted, obviously. I just wrote down some jot notes on what I wanted to talk about. I don't always do that, but I wanted this show to go a little bit better than some of the other ones. What do I think of the 3 buttons? I don't know. Zero Hero, be a little bit more specific, buddy. You know what? I didn't think about this, but Super Leaf 64, you might have knocked it out. Like, we are getting a game selection screen. One of the biggest improvements that everybody wants with this listing since it came out was that this can't have one game. So maybe this has another Midway arcade game. And you just brought up a couple really good ones. If I'm going back here, let me just bring it up here. I gotta find your comment. They're all coming in so quick. Super Leaf. Like, how cool would it be if the other game, because there should be like between 2 and 3 games on a cabinet of this nature. What if Carnival's on this? Like, I would freak out. Like, that would be awesome. I'd be very excited for Carnival. I'm not familiar with Invasion, but Carnival, yeah. Carnival is getting really popular now with arcade collectors for whatever reason. So, excellent point. Yeah, I built a riser for the riser with 2x4 under a 10-inch cab. I'm actually going to be doing a review sometime in the next little while. Buy Stuff Store here in Canada, they've sent me riser improvements for Arcade1Up. I don't know if you guys would have saw it, but a while ago, I did. I don't know if Nikki's a fan of Thunder Rosa. I'm a big fan of Thunder Rosa. Carnival is hard to emulate. Pipe Dream. Oh man. That sucks. I can dare to dream, Brad. I can dare to dream. I mean, there's a lot of other games that were hard to emulate. They managed to get work. I mean, try to emulate Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder, even though it doesn't seem like that complex a game, but it does not emulate well, and that's the problem with Sega. Like, Spider-Man has similar issues. Carnival fits. Yep, Carnival does fit. Hopefully they can get it to work. Well, I was going to say that, Shoeshine. Like, honestly, man, with Arcade1Up gearing up and getting another shooting cab, big one out like this, man, if AtGames could have, like I've been saying it for a while, AtGames, I mean, if AtGames can come out with a driving cab, shooting cab, they would have had an opportunity to really maybe grab some of these consumers. But, I mean, Arcade1Up gets the stuff out first, and if it's good, you know, I don't know. There's stuff out there, right? And there's different ways to play it. Like, if you got an aim track and that plays well and you're happy with that, cool. I know Conti Dinda, I don't know if Conti's here in the chat tonight, but Conti has an aim track light gun, and he's playing Terminator 2 on his Legends Ultimate quite often. Yeah, if Revolution X is on there, people will lose their damn minds. People are very excited about that. I've never played the arcade version. I've played, like, this console version. I've never really been big. How did they do Revolution X, though? Like, you talk about the marketing for that, the licensing for the music, the rights to use Aerosmith, and then the rights to use Aerosmith when they're not the marquee game on the cabinet. Oh, that's a tough one, man. 5 minutes. Anyways, guys, I don't want to take away from Pete Evil's time. Revolution X and Carnival, can you imagine? I don't want to take away from P-Dub's time. P-Dub's is getting started strictly at 11:30 my time. Oh my God, Ralph, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yes! Picked up a Frogger cocktail cabinet today. Frogger for life. Thank you so much, Ralph. Thanks for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate it. I need to play the arcade. All right, I will add that next on my list, Lewis. Thank you so much for the super chat, Ralph. Thanks for dropping in. I got to see your Frogger cocktail cabinet. All right, guys, so P-Dubs is getting started for the I Hate Monday shows, going live at 11:30. So I want to thank everybody so much for joining me tonight. I think we had a fun conversation. Like, this was something I planned on doing, and it turned out to be so awesome because we got the leaks, and then right before I went live, we got a second leak for Terminator 2 Arcade1Up, so confirmed. I also got some other behind-the-scenes stuff, confirmed. We are getting Terminator 2, so we know what the next shooter is going to be like, but we don't know everything, so we have to wait till we get more information, the sizzle reel, all that stuff. thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hopefully I'll be in attendance and in the fans for P-Dub Show, and I'll see you guys in the chat there. Thanks for watching. This is MichaelBtheGameGenie. Oh my god, Digipunk, thank you so much for the super chat. See you, Lewis. Thank you so much for doing the moderation tonight, brother. And Ralph, everybody, thank you. Have a good night.